All right, y'all, come on in. Today we're going to review this Boudoir Facebook ad. See what we're doing good to give us good results, and see what we're doing bad to give us bad results. And yeah, we'll be going through my same, 10 mistake framework, kind of the top 10 mistakes I keep seeing boudoir photographers make with their boudoir Facebook ads. And I've already taken some other boudoir Facebook ads I've seen on my own, tested them, found the mistakes, fixed the mistakes, retested them, and I've been able to get about 2 to 4x the number of women coming through, reading the ad copy, um, and becoming pre-qualified, literally with the same ad spend, just by fixing, some of these mistakes. And the real lever we focus on here is unique CTR all. This is kind of a hidden metric that no one knows about. This is basically, how many women out of 100 engage with our ad. And this is like a really big kind of metric in the meta ad algorithm, kind of a really large weighting. And it also basically means like how out of 100 women, how many women is our ad relevant to? And what's interesting is as we go from a more broad ad to a more specific ad, it actually raises the unique CTR all because we're actually giving more data to the meta ad algorithm to send our ad to more specific kind of pockets of women. And we always want to keep this above 6% because below 6%, much higher chance, our ad kind of does worse and worse over time. Same ad spend, less bookings over time, and kind of burns out and dies out. And we got to refresh creative. But if we keep it above 6%, it's a much higher chance our ad actually does better and better over time. Same ad spend, more results over time. And our ad sustains and scales, and we can actually scale the business. So it's kind of a 6% seesaw, I say, where we want to be always above 6%. And so, yeah, I can already fix all these mistakes, get get much better results. So coming back here, one of the things that with boudoir photographers kind of is commonly happening with them is when they've been running boudoir Facebook ads for a long time. It's pretty common that their ads do worse and worse over time, same ad spend, but get fewer and fewer results over time. Their ads burning out, their ads dying out, and they're feeling desperate. They're not knowing where to turn, how to fix it. They kind of just refresh what they're doing, put a new picture, and kind of restart everything. But the problem with that is the ad still has these same top 10 structural mistakes that are just going to cause the ad to keep, burning out, dying out over time, and again and again and again, no matter how much they fix it. And a lot of boudoir photographers actually think this is normal, but it's actually a symptom of a deeper root cause problem. And kind of the other scenario is boudoir photographers paying an ad agency like a ton of money every month to run their ads for them. But same agency fee every month, same ad spend every month, but getting worse and worse results over time, month after month. So they're kind of like, man, why should I keep paying these people a ton of money every month? They probably already gave me literally like their best ads in the beginning to hook me and get me to stay more months with them. And since those ads are in my Facebook ads account already, I can just keep running them without needing to keep paying them. And these new ads that they're doing, they just gotta keep refreshing stuff, and I keep getting worse and worse results over time. So why keep dealing with this agency? So there's kind of two things, and in both scenarios, nobody is solving the actually root cause problem that's causing ads to get worse and worse results over time, even though it starts out good and they spend the same amount of ad spend, but it just results in lower and lower sales over time. So the root cause of this is actually the 10 mistakes I'm going to talk about today. And when these 10 mistakes are made, well, when any of them are made, what actually happens is the initial ad metrics like unique CTR that I showed earlier in this video, and like link click-through rate, conversion rate, kind of these initial ad metrics that are that our ad gets as it goes out to the first tranche of women, kind of tranche one, the first group of women our ad goes out to. All that, those low results, low metric data, that all actually is fed back into the meta ad algorithm for when it decides who to send the ad, which women to send the ad to for tranche two, kind of the second grouping. And when we have low initial results, initial metrics, initial data with our ads, which happens because of, again, these top 10 mistakes we're going to talk about today, when that data goes back into the meta ad algorithm from tranche one women, as a result of our low metrics, low conversion data, the meta ad algorithm actually sends, for tranche two, sends our ad to lower quality meta profiles who have a lower conversion rate, kind of just globally or generally, which results in for tranche two, same ad spend, lower results over time, because we still have the same daily budget, just the results, we get less and less results for tranche two, which, yeah, you guessed it, goes back into the meta ad algorithm for tranche three to decide which group of women to send the ad to for tranche three. And they're usually even lower quality meta profiles with lower master conversion rates, which means we're going to spend same amount of ad spend but get lower results, And this is called the downward spiral of despair, and it all results from the initial metrics and data and conversion rates acquired from our ad going to the women in tranche one, the tranche one women. So if we got any mistakes, we're going down the downward spiral of despair, no doubt about it. Second, but the second option is if we fix these mistakes, here's what happens. We get good initial ad metrics like unique CTR all. Link click-through rate, conversion rate, like some other different metrics from tranche one women. That feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. And we actually, when the meta ad algorithm decides to send our ads to for tranche two women, we actually unlock higher quality meta profiles based on our good user experience, good metrics, good conversion rate from the first tranche of women our ad went to. So we unlock higher quality meta profiles, which on average have a higher conversion rate, just like kind of at their master account level for any ad that's really put in front of them. And these are basically premium placements, which we earn by having great ads. And we can only unlock by having great ads. Most boudoir photographers can never unlock these premium placements. So that's why nobody knows they exist. So when we go to tranche two, the higher quality meta profiles, we get same ad spend, better results. And what happens with that data from tranche two, same ad spend, better results, that feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. And again, we unlock premium placements for tranche three, even higher quality placements with higher account level conversion rate and ad engagement rate and all that. So these are kind of like the premium placements we unlocked, again, with great ad, not making any of the 10 mistakes we're going to talk about today. And same ad spend, better results. And so over time, our ad gets better results, our ad sustains and scales, we scale the business. And this is called the upward spiral of despair. So, when we fix all these mistakes, that's our best chance of getting into the upward spiral of despair, or upward spiral of awesomeness, I mean. So same ad spend, better results over time. But if we make any of these top 10 most common mistakes, most likely we're going into the downward spiral of despair based off of the data coming in from our tranche one women. And that same ad spend, worse and worse results over time, downward spiral of despair, ad burns out, ad dies out, refresh creative. So those are the only two ways ads can go. There's no maintaining an ad. It's either upward spiral of awesomeness or downward spiral of despair. Nearly all boudoir Facebook ads that I've reviewed so far are going down the downward spiral of despair. And it's literally just because our ads are not being shown to the higher quality buyers. That's it. But we got to earn that with great ads, not making these mistakes, great ads that work with newsfeed psychology, human psychology, meta ad algorithm, everything, messaging. So Now we're gonna get into the top 10 mistakes, see what we can learn from this ad, see see where things are doing good, and then not so good. So first mistake, does it look like an ad? Well, first potential mistake, does it look like an ad? And for this one, we all know now. We look at the creative, does it have text on it? Basically, if it has text on it, it's 99% gonna look like an ad to people scrolling. Because nobody's putting a picture of their dog or a picture of themselves from a photo shoot with big text of some offer or title of anything on it, unless they're advertising something. So yes, in this ad, we are making this mistake. It does look like an ad. And because of that, we're gonna have more women scrolling on by and not consuming our ad because, banner blindness, ad blindness, people don't want to be sold to. This happens automatically. There's no one consciously deciding, oh, did this activate my ad banner blindness? Yes or no? Should I stay and read it? No. It's all subconscious, instant brain activation, activating the neural networks. So looks more like an ad. We're gonna have more women scrolling by, fewer women coming up here to read what the heck we got going on. Fewer women reading our full ad copy, therefore fewer women becoming pre-qualified. As a result, we're having fewer qualified leads, fewer qualified appointments, which results in more ghosting, more price hunters, more tire kickers, more price objections, and finally, fewer sales, fewer results, fewer conversions, lower ROAS, lower revenue from Tranche 1 women. All that data from Tranche 1 feeds back into the meta ad algorithm, and our ads actually go to the lower quality meta profiles for Tranche 2, which results in same ad spend, lower results for Tranche 2. Our ads already started to die out, burn out. We're already in the downward spiral of despair. That lower results from Tranche 2 is just going to feed back into the meta ad algorithm. And, ads go to worse and worse meta profiles over time. Same ad spend, lower and lower conversion rate, lower results over time. Ads burning out, ads dying out. Then we got to refresh creative. All right, the next 4 mistakes, so mistakes 2 through 5, can happen up here in the See More headline. That's the first 2 3/4 lines on Facebook mobile newsfeed. And this is where 95% of ad spend is won or lost, and here's why. First of all, Facebook mobile newsfeed, this is where most of our ad impressions will be occurring. And we know that because if we go into our backend Meta Ads Manager, we go on the top right of the columns, we click on the breakdown drop-down menu, then we click on the circle button for our placements. Then if we go on the bottom left of our columns, in the bottom row, the summary row, the bottom left, we click the summary row arrow to bring up the summary menu. And then if we click at the top of the impressions column, the word for impressions, and we sort by highest to lowest, that'll also sort our summary, our summary row that we got. And the one with the most impressions will be Facebook mobile newsfeed. Now the reasons why 95% of ad spend is won or lost here is because, if we look at the screen, what I got highlighted here, 100 out of 100 women scrolling on Facebook mobile newsfeed will see this See More headline up here. This is the first 2 3/4 lines on Facebook mobile newsfeed before it gets cut off and it's a ... See More here, which hides the rest of the ad copy. So 100 out of 100 women will see right here, it's first 2 3/4 lines on Facebook mobile newsfeed. But on a really good Boudoir Facebook ad, we'll have 5 out of 100 women click the ... See More, which means a unique CTR all of 5% to read the rest of our ad copy. And so 100 out of 100 women will see this, what I've highlighted, and only 5 out of 100 women will see this. So literally 20x more women will see up here. And that's for a good Boudoir Facebook ad. 5% unique CTR all, 5% out of 100 click in the ... See More. Average Boudoir Facebook ads that I've seen, 2 to 3%. So these, it's actually, 98% ad spend is won or lost here in the See More headline on Facebook mobile newsfeed. And yes, we always have to test our messaging here in Facebook mobile newsfeed before branching out to other placements, because if we have a message that doesn't work, well, we're scaling a message that doesn't work to a ton of placements, which means it's just going to not work on a larger scale. That's literally what it means. All right. So see more headline, we need 4 specific attributes here. The first one is a who. Who are we speaking to? What is a self-label that they have, or when they read it, they're scrolling by, they read it fast, they come back up, they say, oh my God, that's me. So do we have a who here? Let's see, females for a complimentary women to photograph. All right, so the who here is females. Can definitely be better, but all right, we'll give you a who. So females scrolling by, say, hey, I'm a female. They scroll, when they say I'm a female, they scroll back up. Okay. All right, so we got the who here. So we're calling in more specific person, more specific women. Feel like, kind of what we're talking about is more relevant to them. Higher chance they click the ... see more. And because we're being more specific, they feel like it's more for them. So they read more of the ad copy, more become pre-qualified. So we have more qualified leads, more qualified appointments. Less ghosting, less price hunters, less price objections, fewer tire kickers. We're getting more sales, more revenue, more conversions, higher ROAS. All feeds back into the meta ad algorithm, all this data from Tranche 1 women. And our ads actually go to higher quality meta profiles for Tranche 2 because, we're doing the correct things in our ad, which results in same ad spend, better results with those Tranche 2 women. And we're in the upward spiral of awesomeness, keeps, feeding back on itself, better results, same ad spend, feeds back onto itself, same ad spend, even better results because our ads are going to higher quality meta profiles over time because we're unlocking them because of our back end hidden meta ad score keeps going up and up and up because it initially started good, then we go to higher quality profiles afterwards. All right, the second thing we need to have in the see more headline is basically a negative experience, something negative experience that women in our city are saying they want to get away from, kind of like they're on one side of the riverbank with a negative experience and they just want to get across the river to the other side of the riverbank just to literally get away from this negative experience. And we always, always, always lead with a negative experience because the probability a human takes an action to go from a negative experience, aka pain, and takes some action to get back to normal / neutral / no pain, that probability is literally 100x larger than that same human that's kind of in normal / no pain state / neutral state taking an action to go to some positive gain benefit state, some pleasure state. Literally 100x difference between the two, from negative to neutral, probability of taking action compared to neutral to positive. And we know this because, we just think of ourselves, we're going to the dentist. We finished our 6-month checkup, teeth cleaning. We're at the front desk talking to we're paying, and then we're talking to the secretary ladies. And they're saying, hey, are you free, 177 days from now on Wednesday at 7:50 a.m.? And we're like, dude, I literally have no idea, like no clue. No idea at all. But text me, contact me closer to that time when I actually know my schedule and I can know when I can fit stuff in. So they put us in their, auto texter. It texts us month 3, month 4, month 5. We ignore them all, trying to get us to set up an appointment. Month 6 comes and goes, and we didn't set up anything, and we don't go to the dentist. We miss our 6-month teeth cleaning, 6-month checkup. Now, why is that? Well, we're busy, our schedule's full, we're working on our business, scaling the business, putting out fires, doing shoots, talking with clients, editing photos, and our schedule's full. We got a lot of stuff on our plate. We're in the flow state, mental momentum. We like our schedule. We don't want to get behind. We don't want to push things back. We don't want to divert our attention to doing any dentist thing. And there are guaranteed gains of going to the dentist, which is guaranteed cleaner teeth and guaranteed, no cavities in our mouth, or they all get taken care of, kind of that peace of mind, no future bigger problems. So there are 2 guaranteed positives or gains or pleasure going to the dentist, but Those two guaranteed gains, those two guaranteed positives, that's not enough to get us to break our habits, break our um, kind of schedule, and put the dentist appointment on the calendar and show up to the dentist appointment. We're fine. We're in, normal, no pain state, and we don't go to the dentist. So this continues on, month 8, month 10, month 12, more texts. We get called once, we ignore it. We ignore all the texts. And now month 12 is come and gone, and we've skipped out on the dentist again for a second time. So we miss our second, basically our second 6-month checkup / teeth cleaning. And it's for the same reasons. We're busy, working on the business. We're really focused, don't want to screw up our focus and our momentum. And again, we got still the same 2 guaranteed gains, guaranteed positives of going to the dentist. Cleaner teeth, no cavities, peace of mind with that. Knowing we won't have any big issues later. But again, those 2 guaranteed gains they're not enough for us to take an action. That's just not enough. That is what it is. So again, second time in a row, we do not book with them. We don't put them on the calendar. We don't show up. But now comes the end of month 13. And we're eating breakfast one morning. Eating breakfast, chewing, and on the right side of our mouth, in the back on the bottom, one of those molars, dude, with every bite, it's a ton of pain. It's just pain, 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 every single bite. I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is terrible. So we finish our breakfast. We go about the rest of the morning, working on all our stuff. And yeah, our tooth's still hurting, even though we're not chewing anything anymore. And our jaw's also hurting a little bit, like kind of at the bottom of the, the root of the tooth. It's hard for us to focus. Like, this is kind of annoying. We try to ignore it. But then we get to lunch. We learn a little bit. So we decide to eat on the left side of our mouth only. But still, the teeth on our right side, they touch when we're chewing only on the left. Our jaw is still pain there. And, because of muscle memory, some food still goes over to the right side of our mouth. And, oh my God, dude, more pain. And we do not even finish our lunch. Too painful. Like, damn, my tooth is killing me. We only finish half of it. And we're like, all right, dude, this is enough. I can't focus. I can't eat. Probably won't be able to eat dinner. Probably not going to be able to sleep. I can't even focus today because of this pain. I got to get this solved ASAP. So we call up our dentist that same afternoon, right after lunch, right after we only finish half our lunch. Call up our dentist. We're talking with them, and we're like, "What? What do you mean you can't get me in tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.? What do you mean you're booked out 2 weeks?" And they're telling us, yeah, they're booked out. They're booked out full for 2 weeks. They are, they're not able to get us in. They could put us on the cancellation list. So, actually potentially get us in, but no guarantees. They're like, dude, I can't deal with this. I gotta go. I gotta find someone to fix this. So we hang up on them, and dude, we call literally every single other dentist in the city. Right? Can't get me in tomorrow morning. Can't get me in tomorrow morning. Can't get me in tomorrow morning. Finally, one dentist says yes, they can get us in tomorrow morning. So, we go in. We barely slept it all last night because of the pain. We go in. They do the x-ray, find out, oh, we got a big cavity in the right side back bottom of our mouth, one of those molars, big cavity. So they clean it out. They put the little, that liquid resin stuff in there, fill it in, put the UV pen on us, harden it. And then we do, that bite paper, make sure our tooth's not too high. And they clean the rest of our teeth, kind of our normal 6-month checkup deal. And we leave, and, we're biting the air. Cool, no pain in my teeth, no pain in my jaw, nice. We go eat breakfast. No pain with any of the bites. Yes, awesome. Finally, back to normal. No pain, back to my normal state. So there are 2 scenarios right there in this, kind of this dentist, us going to the dentist. First one, was literally, dude, like 13 months, we took no action. We were in our normal no pain / neutral state with our teeth. We took no action for literally 400 days to get a guaranteed gain, a guaranteed positive, but we took no action. Dude, literally one day with pain, we're taking massive action, trying to put our dentist on the calendar. They're booked, so we're calling every other dentist in the city, putting, you know, putting them, trying to get on someone's calendar, anyone that can fix this tooth pain and get rid of it for me to make it go from the negative experience or the pain state to a no pain state. And we got it done. So literally one day with pain, we take massive action. 400 days with no pain, but a guaranteed for 2 gains, cleaner teeth and peace of mind knowing we have no cavities, and we take no action. So dude, literally 400x difference between the two. And originally I said 100x difference between the two, but this example is literally 400x difference. So this is why we always lead with the negative in the see more headline. This is the exact reason why. It's because humans move, dude, 100x minimum, higher probability to go from a negative experience / pain state to a neutral state compared to taking action to go from neutral to a positive, gain state. Literally 100x difference, at least minimum. So, all right, let's see what we got here in this one. 1 in females, 5 women. All right, so we're totally missing negative. So even though, even though we have females here, there'll be females scrolling by that, and there's nothing else kind of relevant for them to care about or capture their attention. So we're actually going to have a ton of women actually continuing to scroll by, even though that self-label females does fit them. So we're having less women come back up to read it, less women click in to open and read the rest of our body copy. So we're having less women read the full body copy and get pre-qualified. So we're having fewer qualified leads, fewer qualified appointments, and we're getting more price hunters, more price objections, basically more ghosting, more tire kickers, and it's resulting in lower sales, lower revenue, fewer conversions, lower bookings, lower ROAS from the tranche 1 women, feeding back into the meta ad algorithm to decide where our ads go for tranche 2, and our ads actually go to lower quality meta profiles in tranche 2, which results in same ad spend, lower results, less revenue, fewer conversions, feeds back in the meta ad algorithm again for tranche 3, and we're just downward spiral of despair off rip. All right, next we need to have a positive in the see more headline. What positive thing are women in our city saying that they want, but they do not yet have? Our boudoir photo shoot is the solution, kind of the bridge to give them that positive. So kind of like, they're on one side of the riverbank and they want to get to the other side because there's some positive thing over there that they want. So they want to cross the river. Let's see, is complimentary boudoir photo shoots, is that a positive? Looking for 5 women to photograph. No, complimentary boudoir photo shoots is not a positive specific attribute. It is a solution. A positive is what they would get or feel or gain from having a boudoir photo shoot. What they would feel. So, all right, we're missing positives. So we're missing negative, positive tension here in the brain. Kind of like women saying, oh, I don't want this thing. I want to get away from this thing on this, left river bank. And I want to get this other different thing, orthogonal thing, on the other, the right side of the riverbank across the river. So we're missing that. So we're missing capturing a ton of attention. So we're going to have way more women scrolling by, fewer women clicking and reading our full ad copy, which means fewer women are getting pre-qualified, which means fewer qualified leads, fewer qualified appointments. And we're getting basically more ghosting, more price hunters, more price objections, more tire kickers, which results in fewer sales, lower revenue, lower bookings, fewer conversions, lower ROAS from these tranche 1 women, which feeds back into the meta ad algorithm to decide who our ads should go to for tranche 2. And our ads, as a result, go to lower quality meta profiles for tranche 2, which is a lower account level conversion rate. And same ad spend, worse results over time, downward spiral of despair, feeds into itself over and over again. Ad burns out, ad dies out, refresh creative. All right, the third and final thing we want in the See More headline is the fourth and final thing we want in the See More headline is a hesitation/roadblock. So what is something women in our city are saying in their brains? And yes, all these specific attributes, yeah, we test them. The data tells us where to go. The data tells us what is most relevant. And we need a hesitation/roadblock. Basically, we got what women want to get away from, the left riverbank. We got this other different thing that women want to also get on the right side of the riverbank, by crossing the river. But then there's some hesitation or roadblocks, some reason they're not taking the one of 12 bridges across. Maybe there's 12 other boudoir photographers, or they don't want to take any boat across, or they don't want to take a helicopter across. What are these hesitation/roadblocks that women in our city are thinking? They're not doing any of these other solutions, or they're not using any of the boudoir photographers, or they got to assume they have to do with us, but it's actually an incorrect assumption. So they're assuming wrongly. So yeah, we need at least one of those, and yeah, we're missing that. So we're missing hesitation/roadblock here, which means we're missing, this is super important, the triangle of mental tension, the negative, the positive, the hesitation/roadblock. We're missing that triangle of mental tension, which is really what we need to get super specific and have women feel like we're speaking directly about what they're actually thinking in their brain. And then they can't even stop themselves from clicking ... see more, just see and read the rest of our ad copy. But since we don't have it, yeah, we're tons more women scrolling by, lower unique CTR all, fewer women clicking to read the full ad body copy, which means fewer women are reading the full ad body copy, which means fewer women are getting pre-qualified. So we're having fewer qualified leads, fewer qualified appointments, more ghosting, more price hunters, more price objections, more tire kickers, resulting in less sales, less revenue, fewer conversions, lower ROAS, less bookings from tranche 1 women that our ad goes to. And all that data feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. And our ads, as a result, go to lower quality, aka lower converting meta profiles over time, which means same ad spend, lower results. And we've entered the downward spiral of despair, just feeds in on itself again and again. The same ad spend, lower results. Going to worse and worse quality prospects over time because of our low initial ad metrics, conversion rate, conversion data from tranche 1 women. Yeah, so ads just dying out, burning out. We got to refresh creative. All right, those are the first 2 and 3, 5 mistakes. And yeah, dude, we're only using 1.75 lines out of the 2.75 lines into here in this one. We want to use all the lines. So there's the first 5 mistakes that can happen in a Boudoir Facebook ad. The next 3 mistakes can happen here in the body copy of the Boudoir Facebook ad. And kind of just thinking through newsfeed psychology, people are in fast brain mode, fast scrolling, TikTok brain, and so when we say stuff up in here, the See More headline to get them to stop, they go from a fast brain to a slow brain. I come back up to read this, and there's only 1 to 2 sentences shown here, so we get them to go from TikTok brain to reading 2 sentences. So their brain goes from fast to slow. But then they click ... see more, and dude, they're hit with a big wall of text here. So their brain instantly has got to go from slow to like super slow, which is very overwhelming for TikTok brain. So, once they see all this wall of text, even though it's like, whatever, 5 or 6 sentences more, and we literally have to give them a second hook. If we say this See More headline is hook 1, we literally need to give them a hook 2 right at the top of our, ad copy, a hook 2 basically a reason for why they should keep reading, even though TikTok brain is telling them to keep scrolling and keep consuming content. And for a hook two, we always want to use an authority hook, basically a why you should listen to me hook, which is what exactly I did at the beginning of this video, showing how I've fixed other Boudoir Facebook ads on my own, increased the amount of women coming through them, consuming the ad copy 2 to 4x for the same ad spend, and the women are actually more specific, which means they're more qualified, kind of off rip, just by fixing a few of these top 10 mistakes. And we saw how the metrics grew from that, which again results in higher chance our ad gets in the upward spiral of awesomeness when we fix these mistakes. So, do we have a hook two here, an authority hook, for when this wall of text smacks our viewer in the face? Up there, well, complimentary photographer sessions. Okay, blah, blah, blah. No, so we're missing authority. We do not have a reason why they should listen to us, why they should keep reading. So even though women click the ... see more to open our ad copy, and fewer women finishing our full ad copy, they'll be trailing off before the end and kind of not even finishing it or not even focusing. We will so less women reading our full ad copy, less women becoming pre-qualified, so we're going to have fewer qualified leads, fewer qualified appointments, more ghosting, more price hunters, more price objections, more tire kickers, resulting in fewer sales, fewer conversions, fewer bookings, lower ROAS, lower revenue from the tranche one women. All that feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. And as a result, our ad actually goes to lower quality meta profiles for tranche two, which results in, again, same ad spend, lower results, because those accounts will have just a lower account level conversion rate. And, downward spiral of despair is hitting us hard, feeding back into itself. Same ad spend, worse results, same ad spend, even worse results, same ad spend, even worse results. Downward spiral of despair, ads burning out, ads dying out, refresh creative. All right, the second out of three things we want in our body copy next is a story/narrative. And this is super important, the story/narrative. And that's because this is our chance to empathize with them, show we understand what the heck is going on in their life, showing we understand them, showing that what we got is perfect specifically for them and for their situation without ever talking directly to them. And because of that, we call this actually, the punch two, where our punch one is actually the see more headline up top. Punch one is like matching the exact conversation here in our ad copy that the women in our city are having in their brains of what they don't want to have to deal with anymore, and this other thing that they want to get without having to do or be or say or know this third thing. So this is meeting the women in the exact conversation they're having in their head, and his data tells us exactly which ones are the most relevant, so we simply follow the data. And once women see this, dude, literally just from the See More headline, this punch one will be the most specific ad they've ever seen in their life. Definitely, well, obviously compared to any other boudoir photographers in our city, unless someone else is already working with me. But even compared to any other offer or ad they'll probably ever see potentially in their life for any other service, will literally be the most specific ever. And that's just with this getting the See More headline right, this punch one. But then we come down here, punch two, story/narrative. This is, illustrating the movie scene, writing out the movie script. Like we have a third person camera following them, what the heck's going on in their life, and then including kind of like the reality TV show cutscene where, they're facing the camera, explaining what they're thinking, what they're feeling in the previous clip. We write all that stuff out as well. So they know we understand them, we empathize with them. We say, hey, I see you, I feel you, I know exactly what's going on, and also what you're thinking. And once we get these, we need to get this 1-2 punch correct. Two reasons. One is kind of meta ad algorithm reason. It's kind of 5% the reason we got to get punch 1, punch 2 correct. And that is when a woman interacts with one Boudoir Facebook ad, literally just clicking ... see more, clicking the link, reading it, either our Boudoir Facebook ad or any of our competitors in our city. Literally for the next 24 hours, they're being fed 20 different Boudoir Facebook ads from the 20 different competitors in the city in the next 24 hours on Facebook and IG. Literally, they're being swarmed. And guess what? Everyone's using general messaging. Well, half people are using general messaging, half people are copying everyone else's templates. So either A, the message is broad, it's not relevant to the person that saw our ad, or B, kind of just the same message, because everyone's using the same template, gets worn out and it doesn't work on anyone. So 5% we stand out just simply by being specific and different, but 95% we need to get the 1-2 punch correct. You know, the CMAR headline and the story/narrative is it allowed us to be correctly specific. And when we're correctly specific, we turn into a market of one where literally people are, you know, much faster sales cycle. They're willing to pay a higher price. And, you know, there's really no other competition because we're solving, you know, because we spoke to them so specifically. No one ever got close unless, you know, again, someone else in our city is working with me on their Boudoir Facebook ads as well. But, you know, kind of thinking back to our dentist example, you know, what if all the dentists in our city only did 6-month checkups and teeth, you know, and like the checkups/teeth cleanings, and there's only one dude that fixes tooth pain. We would have tried to book with him ASAP and paid him a ton of money because he would have been a market of one to solve kind of exactly what we wanted solved. And finally, we can kind of think of this empathize, right? The movie scene, kind of like what I also did at the beginning of this video. I talked about Boudoir photographers running ads on their own, ads doing worse and worse over time. They're feeling desperate. They just refresh the picture, but the same structural ad issues kind of remain, and they're kind of just going through the cycle of just refreshing creatives all the time and getting worse and worse quality clients over time. Or they're using the ad agency, frustrated, they're paying them a ton of money every month, frustrated, like, hey, you already gave me your best ads probably at the beginning, so why should I keep using you and paying you? Whether you just give me worse and worse results over time. So that's a little bit of illustrating the movie scene, a little bit of empathize in there. So that is kind of what we want here in the ad copy. The second out of 3 things we want in the ad copy, the story/narrative. So nope, we are missing the story/narrative. So we have fewer women feeling like we're speaking directly to them about their specific situation. We're having fewer women actually, you know, read through the full ad copy, become pre-qualified. So we're getting fewer qualified leads for qualified appointments. We are getting more ghosting, more tire kickers, more price hunters, more price objections, resulting in fewer conversions, lower sales, lower revenue, less bookings, lower ROAS from the Tranche 1 women. All feeds back into the meta ad algorithm, and our ads go to lower quality prospects for Tranche 2, low quality meta profiles, who just off rip have a lower, you know, profile level conversion rate. So with Tranche 2, we spend the same daily ad spend every day, but we're getting lower results over time, lower and lower results. Downwards, you know, we've entered the downward spiral of despair. Same ad spend, worse and worse results over time. Ads dying out, ads burning out. Refresh creative. All right. The third and final thing we want in the body copy is our full offer. So all the stuff we did previously up above, previous mistakes, was to provide correct context. And all that was leading up to the main purpose of our ad, which is exposing our full offer to as many people that have the correct context around it as possible. So even if they don't buy now, they'll have, they can have it in their feature. We can hit them with the retargeting ad. And, unique CTR link. So link click to actually go to the web page is normally like 1%. So 1 out of 100. And so if our offer is only on the web page, only 1 out of 100 are seeing it. But if we got our offer here in the ad copy, I can get the unique CTR all. So the amount of women that click, see more, and come through the rest of the ad copy to be, up to 9-10%. So we're potentially exposing 8%, 9%, 10% of women to the offer if we got it here in the ad copy, which is like 8 to 9 to 10x the number of women for the same ad spend. So that'll probably result in increased sales. All right, so this one, yeah, we actually do got our full offer here. Complimentary boudoir photo shoots, complimentary photography session. Okay, full professional, here we go. Full professional styling, guided posing, same day image reveal. All right, great, we got our full offer here. We could add some more stuff, but yeah, this is good enough. So good, we're having women come in pre-qualified, coming through, they click the ... see more. This is not for them, be 95% of women, they keep scrolling on by, which is perfect. We'll learn about more of that in mistake number 9, where we want the wrong women to actually scroll on by and not click on our ad. But we're on mistake number 8 right now, potential mistake number 8. And yeah, because we got the offer good, more qualified leads, more qualified appointments, less ghosting, fewer price hunters, fewer price objections. And as a result, we're getting more sales, more revenue, more conversions, higher ROAS, higher conversion rate from tranche 1 women. All that data feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. Ad goes to higher quality prospects for tranche 2, higher converting meta profiles, kind of the premium placements. And same ad spend each day, but we're getting more results each day. More revenue each day, more sales, more conversions from tranche 2. Ad feeds back, all that data feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. We go to better profiles, tranche 3, same ad spend, even better results. So yeah, we're growing, so the ad's sustaining and scaling, we're scaling the business. Our ad's in the upward spiral of awesomeness, everything's awesome. All right, now the final 2 mistakes. Oh, interesting. Final 2 mistakes can happen here at the bottom of the ad. So we actually don't have anything here, which makes me think, we're using a engagement objective, an engagement, post-engagement objective. So is this going anywhere? I don't even know. Okay, it goes to yours. Interesting, unless you're using the, I don't know, unless you're using the one hack. Okay, so, well, you don't have a button. I don't know if this is a, well, all right, you're not using a below creative headline, you're not using a button. You got nothing under, which is, you're the first one that did this correct. So, all right. So mistake number 9 is having anything below the ad creative. And this ad does not. So they did it correct. It was actually the first one I've reviewed out of like, whatever, 45 so far, or 50 that has actually done this correct. And we don't want anything below the ad creative for 3 reasons. First one is when women are scrolling fast, kind of the see more headline that they see kind of surfaces in their subconscious as they're down here in the bottom left, like their eyes looking down here. If the words are not congruent, it triggers the error detection network signaling, actually signaling, incongruent, confusing, keep scrolling. So that's kind of 5% of the reason. Actually, it's 15% of the reason. The 5% of the reason, stuff below the creative makes it look more like an ad, so it ties in with mistake number 1. But then reason number 3 for mistake number 9, 80% of the reason is stuff below the ad allows women to click over to the next page without becoming pre-qualified and being like kind of forced to click ... see more and read the rest of the ad copy and then click over. And the reason why that's a problem is, or the reason it's a problem when women click on stuff below before reading the full ad copy is because the data pools that the meta ad algorithm pulls from. Pool 1 is converters, just stripping off all the data profile attributes, pulling the converters, seeing the similar data points on all the converter profiles, and then that biases the meta ad algorithm to go for and find profiles that got 93%, the same similar data points on the profile, or 86% or 72%, stuff like that. But the problem is, if we got stuff below the creative, is pool 2. Pool 2 does the same thing as pool 1, but it's for all the ad clickers, and normally that pool is 10 to 50x larger than the ad converters. And if women are not reading, becoming fully pre-qualified, and they're just clicking over, we're having all these unqualified women filling up pool 2 with unqualified data attributes that are all similar to each other, but everyone's pre-qualified. So then we would be biasing the meta ad algorithm to go to more unqualified profiles in the future. And the most ideal is 1 link click, 1 conversion. So pool 1 and pool 2 are exactly the same, but we don't often get that. So great, now I'm making mistake number 9. That's the first one that I've seen so far. Awesome. Potential mistake number 10 is objective, using the incorrect objective. Now, we don't know what objective we're using, but the most, often used objective is leads. Well, leads is always the incorrect objective. Here's why. When we choose our objective, we're telling Meta to take basically like 6% slice of our city, and the 6% slice will have, the meta profiles that are like 95%, 95th percentile plus probability to fill out a lead form and, engage with some ad that has these specific keywords in it. So keywords do play a part because Meta does have an AI text scanner that scans the ads. It kind of matches the keywords here to the meta profiles that have searched for these things on Facebook, Instagram, or Google, because yes, they all share data, or have engaged with ads with these same keywords in the past, or they have the keywords on their meta profile from just having their phone around them when they're talking to people, talking to their friends, even if they're not on a phone call, even if they don't have the app open. Because yes, the microphones on these apps, Facebook and Instagram, are always listening to us, kind of sucking the keyword data in, pasting it to our meta profile to serve us more relevant ads. And so our ads are going to form filler outers. Now we understand that, choosing the lead form. The problem is we're not optimizing for form filler outers who answer our calls, texts, or emails. And we're not optimizing for form filler outers who book a call, show up to a call. And finally, we're not optimizing for form filler outers who ultimately buy. We're simply optimizing for form filler outers. Now, yes, there's going to be a small dusting that, they're going to answer our phones, calls, or emails. Yes, and a smaller dusting still that answers our, they book a call, they show up to a call. And a tinier dusting still that, yes, they do fill out lead form and they do eventually buy. But these are all just tiny dustings, out of 100. And could even be more, out of like 200 or 500 tiny dustings. And since we're telling the meta ad algorithm to put our ads in front of people that have the dominant meta profile behavior of filling out a lead form, that simply means one of their not dominant behaviors is buying stuff. Because if their dominant profile behavior is actually buying stuff, they'd be in a whole different 6% audience slice that we're not reaching right now. We're reaching a tiny dusting that lead form filler outers than buy, which is going to be a tiny percentage of people. I mean, think of how many people are filling out lead forms and that actually convert. Tiny, tiny, tiny dusting percentage. Because that's the percentage that has lead form fill out data and also a little tiny bit of buyer data. And the kind of final reason lead form fill outs is a mistake is since now we know it's non-buyer behavior, lead form filler outers, it's a totally different like meta profile attribute. Because if they had dominant buyer behavior as their top meta profile attribute, they wouldn't be seeing our lead form or our lead ad in the 6% slice of the population that Meta is deciding to show our ad to. But the longer we do lead form, lead objective, we're biasing our meta pixel more and more towards non-buyers. So the longer we do that, it's actually going to take longer to pull back towards just neutral, back to like a neutral pixel state, and then bias towards buyers and go like past the neutral state. So we're kind of digging ourselves deeper into a hole the longer we run leads objective. Yes, we do like the vanity metrics for leads objective, $1 leads, $1.50, $2 leads. And then these people never answer us or respond. They never buy anything. And we're increasing our email list, but because the dominant profile behavior of these lead form filler outers is just filling out lead forms, aka not buying stuff, we're filling our email list with non-buyers, which screws up the rest of our business, all of the steps in our funnel after. Because guess what? Our emails, our texts, our calls are never really going to get us any buyers. And we're going to be thinking, okay, what's wrong with my emails? What's wrong with my text? What I'm saying, my cadence? What's wrong with my calls? Did I call too late? Did I call too early? Did I say the wrong thing? When these people were never going to buy anyways, even if everything was perfect. So we're de-optimizing, we're reverse optimizing the later steps in our funnel after a lead comes in, because we're testing just to find out what works against non-buyers to get them to buy, but nothing gets non-buyers to buy because they're non-buyers. They don't have buyer behavior on their data profile. Like a phrase I've heard often is a buyer in marketing is a buyer is a buyer is a buyer. People that buy, they don't need to be convinced to buy. They like to buy. But our ads are going to non-buyers, and non-buyers are non-buyers are non-buyers. And so, yeah, we're filling our list with non-buyers. And let's say we spend $100, get 100 leads, $1 per lead. But we got to talk to 100 to get one sale. So literally $100 CAC cost, customer acquisition cost, or $100 CPA cost per acquisition. And we want to, and then we maybe do a buyer objective instead of lead form filler outer objective. We get $10 leads, so it costs 10x more, but it only takes 4 of those $10 leads for us to get a sale. So $40 CAC versus $100 CAC. So we just 2.5x the efficiency of our ad spend by switching to a buyer, objective. If that's how the numbers shake out. So lead cost does not matter at all. It's all about CAC, customer acquisition costs, aka CPA, cost per acquisition. That's the only number that actually matters. So that is all on. All right, those are all the 10 mistakes. Now let's get this ad a final score and compare it to the rest of the Boudoir ads or the Boudoir industry. So we got mistake 1 looks like an ad. Okay, mistake 1, we got a who, nice. Missing a negative, missing a positive, missing a hesitation / roadblock, missing an authority hook, missing a story / narrative. Got our full offer. Nothing below the creative, perfect. And half a mistake because we don't know actually what objective we're using. But I'm going to assume maybe we're using leads, I don't know. So let's see, 6.5 out of 10. Very, very good. So the average Boudoir Facebook ad is 8 out of 10 mistakes. So this one we got 6.5 out of 10 mistakes. So that's way better than average. My best score I've given out so far is 5.5 out of 10 mistakes. So we're pretty close to kind of top of the list. So this is really, really good. Now, I consider every Boudoir Facebook ad that has more than 2 out of 10 mistakes to be a breaking down Boudoir Facebook ad. Because I already know it's going through the downward spiral of despair. Same ad spend, worse results over time, you know, ad dying out, ad burning out, got to refresh the creative. So basically it's an ad that's performing worse and worse over time. Like a car that's performing worse and worse over time, it's breaking down car. And where do we take a car that's breaking down? We take it to a car mechanic. Similarly, where do we take a Boudoir Facebook ad that is breaking down? Well, we take it to a Boudoir Facebook ad mechanic. So if your ads have been making these mistakes I talked about today, and you can't fit, you've tried everything, you can't get the ads to perform better, just refreshing creative, it works for a little bit, but not solving the deeper structural issues in the ad, and you want to get these fixed so you can scale the business, have better business, be the basically the pinnacle of the friend group where everyone kind of wants to be you, wants to learn from you how to grow, of how you're able to get your boudoir photo business so big, and without having to research all this stuff for years or do anything yourself, then I do have a Boudoir Facebook ad mechanic offer for you today. I kind of got 2 options. The first one is I'll fix kind of each root cause problem one by one on one ad. And I actually squished the 10 mistakes down to 5 root cause problems, and I charge per root cause problem fixed. And I'll give you a 25-second quote right now. So potential root cause problem 1, does it look like an ad? Yes. So that is root cause problem 1. Potential root cause problem 2, we need the See More headline to have 4 out of 4 specific attributes to be an official See More headline. This one we got 1 out of 4. That's root cause problem 2. Potential root cause problem 3, ad copy, we need 3 out of 3 specific attributes. We got 1 out of 3. That's root cause problem 3. Below creative headline and button, we do not have those. So we do not have that root cause problem. And then root cause problem 5 is the objective. All right, we got half of that because we actually don't know what objective we're using. So we get 3.5 out of the 5 root cause problems, and I charge $50 per root cause problem solved. Here's this option 1 on one ad. And yeah, once I fix them, you can take them to all the other ads. And next we got option 2, which is actually the higher value option. Well, option 1, you could choose 1 root cause problem for me to fix, or the maximum number. So the maximum would be 3.5 times 50 bucks, $175 for this one ad. Fix it up, get it rolling much better. But option 2, we got much better value, much higher value option where we'll fix all the mistakes on your Boudoir Facebook ads, on all of them that you want us to, and we'll create as many new Boudoir Facebook ads as you want us to. All for $100 a month, flat fee, cancel anytime, month to month, no contracts, and you can collab with us as much or as little as you want. And yeah, both these option 1s and option 2 are done for you, so we'll be doing all the work for you. So yeah, once you decide the option that you want, then hit me up. You got my phone number, you got my email, and also whatever social platform we're on where you're watching this, you can DM me on here as well. So once you decide the option you want and you hit me up, I'll ask you what you got for me, and then we'll go from there. All right, that's everything. Adios.